Thank you for watching Bumbling Butterfly. I don't know why I'm doing it from the single. Happy birthday to me. This week it's all about my birthday. Me, myself, and I. Yeah, so some Zooms with family and Boston peeps and gifticles that I got sent. And yeah, I did a little bit of indulgence in a not so healthy way, but you know, it's my birthday, so if I do it once a year, it's not going to kill me. So yeah, all that and more on Bumbling Butterfly. So, life update. Christian, the one that I was goo goo gaga eyes for in the last couple episodes, turned out to be a scam, and I hope he watched this episode. He honestly might be who he says he was, just with the photos and the things he sent me. I don't necessarily doubt that he is who he says he is, which is like he tried to make me feel bad that I was calling him a catfish, as if that's the only definition of a catfish. And it's not. A catfish is also someone that tries to, you know, before you even get to know them, tries to get money out of you. And he tried once. I thought it was really weird. I told him, I was like, I'm really uncomfortable with this conversation. And he kept pushing. And he was like, essentially kind of making me feel like, oh, if you really cared about me. Literally, one of the phrases he says was, you would find a way. Like, if you care about me, you would find a way. We haven't even video chatted. Like, we're not dating. We're not married. We're not living together. So I told him, I was like, you really need to stop pressuring me. He was like, I even at first felt bad because he was like having money problems. And I was like, well, you know, I mean, I've used payday loans. Like you said, your money should be coming in soon. Get a payday loan, do what you need to do now, and then just pay it off with your paycheck. I even sent him a link to get the payday loan. That literally, according to what he said to me, would have solved all of his problems. But he was like, oh, can you just do it for me and send me the money? Like, no. That's super creepy. And then I was like, I don't even know how I would send you the money. I don't know who you are. We haven't video chatted. Like, I don't even have your number. We're chatting on an app. Like, I have no way of getting it to you. And he was like, oh, you could get Bitcoin and send it to me. Like, that makes you sound any less of a scam. Like, so, yeah, sorry, this is a little bit of a venti life update, but, so that was sort of obnoxious. But Erica was really cool. She called me a bunch of times. She was kind of my vento person, because my other person, who shall remain unnamed, I can't vent to anymore. So I was really like spiraling, because the person I would normally call has ghosted me. So Erica stepped up. I also at some point talked to Hannah. I talked to Mark a couple times. Everyone else has been kind of stepping up, so that was nice. And in terms of jobs, I got 3 interviews in the past like week and a half. One of them just told me today that I didn't get it. I didn't expect to get all 3 jobs, so sort of expected that. So the one job that was an ELD teacher, meaning teaching ELD classes, I didn't get. So unfortunate, but like I said, the likelihood of me getting all 3 jobs was low, so expected. The other 2 jobs, one is a literacy specialist, which is essentially the same as the other job that I had at Los Angeles Education Corps, the traveling reading specialist. So pretty much what I did, like, it would be the same type of job. I think I did really well. Javier, kudos and shout out to Javier. He was giving me, say this and say this, like, keywords and things to say. And I did a pre-recorded interview where they give you questions and you have to record your responses. So he sort of helped me, outline a couple things to say. So shout out to him. And then the last job was for an online school, which made me a little nervous, because a lot of those schools are like, oh, it's like a couple classes a week. It's, $20 an hour or whatever. Like, no, it's a fully salaried job, full-time job. It's just online, which would be so helpful for me, because I wouldn't have to rush to get a vehicle. and I could actually save up some money and pay off other stuff before I have to pay for a vehicle. So that's the one I really want. But the literacy specialist, I could totally figure out a way to make that work too, and it's what I used to do. So either one, waiting to hear from either one of them. So wish me luck on those. So it's the day before my birthday, and I'm doing some gift kind of unboxings. Although I forgot to actually film the unboxing of this, but first gift that my mom sends me, she sends me a new one every year. This is actually one of my favorite scents. I almost said flavors like it's ice cream, but my favorite scents. She sends me a fun perfume bottle each year, and this is one of my favorite scents. She sent it to me a few times. It is Versace Absolute. I feel like I probably mispronounced that, but it smells nice. I can squirt myself. Sometimes I'll do like one on my clothes, so I'll usually do like 3 or 4 squirts. Yeah, but now I smell all nice. Gift unboxing from my parents. Don't mind my unmade bed without sheets. I haven't put sheets on yet. Crumble. I don't even know what flavors these are. And yes, I know I can't have gluten, but I can have like a couple bites of a cookie each day and it like won't kill me. So honestly, tiny amounts of gluten just make me gassy. So I'll just have a couple bites. I'll eat like half a cookie each day, and they're thick enough, they'll last if I put them in the fridge. But yeah, yummy. So I'm going to taste test the cookies. This one looks like it has some kind of nuts on the top. Or those. No, I don't think it's nuts. I think it's pieces of apple. I literally think it's like an apple crumble or something. And then this is their traditional birthday cake one they always have. Or some kind of frosted sugar cookie one, but I call it birthday cake. Very good. Definitely one of my favorites. And then this one has cinnamon on it. So I think it's their creme brulee because it's custardy, the stuff on top, which makes, I think it's a creme brulee cookie. And then this one, I realize I don't have a fork now, so I'm just gonna like dip my finger in it and get like a piece of it. I'm not messy at all. Tiramisu cake, I think. But yes, I'm going to choose one of these cookies and eat half of it. Yummy. Hello. We're at my birthday brunch. My tacos. Ooh, that's a really bad part. Hi. That's the taco plate. Breakfast tacos. Eggs. Birthday cake. They're saying happy birthday. Thank you. Cool. Waiting for mom and dad. Hi. I think you're muted and your camera's off, so you have to turn them on. Oh,
Okay.
are you on? Okay, cool.
Now?
Yeah, you're good. You turned everything on. Hold the camera sideways. Oh, yeah, hold the camera sideways and I can probably see both of you.
Well, he's right there,
Oh, okay.
and I'm
Hi.
right here. Hi,
I'm
you
I'm
look
recording,
great. Oh,
by
I
the
know
way.
that dress. I wear that dress too.
Recording,
Well,
but just so you know, I'm recording.
Oh, are you going to use this afterwards in the bubble thing? Oh, well, you should have told us.
You can assume that I'm always recording.
I know, I know.
I am probably gonna just chill. I'm sitting in front of the AC, so I'll probably just chill a little in front of the AC.
Yeah, of course. Well, I'm glad to hear that. Sounds like it was a very good day.
It was.
Good. All right, kiddo.
Not have gluten for a few days now. Um,
Yeah.
because I only ate like a few bites of the cookies like each day. So it's totally worth it because I got stoned and those cookies were really yummy.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed them. It was a good weekend. Yeah, it was a nice all around session. All
Yeah.
right. Okay, kiddos. I will we'll talk tomorrow.
Yeah.
All right, sweetie. And
Okay.
thanks for the call.
Yeah, no problem.
Take care. Bye
Okay.
bye. Love
Bye.
you. Bye bye.
Love you too. Now, but another gift from Erica. Paint by numbers. I don't know if this will be backwards when I'm filming. I can never tell if it's. But yeah, paint by numbers. You can see it's painting and butterflies. I mean, what could be more of a perfect gift? Thank you, Erica. So it's Monday, the 24th. I'm officially 39 years old. It's the day after my birthday. Um, I know I said I need to recoup from all the stuff I ate on my birthday, but I don't know, I had a craving for mac and cheese, which is so not healthy, but I made it healthier. I made it with soy milk and gluten-free pasta, so it's somewhat healthy. But here's to the food prep. That's in no way as healthy as it probably should be, given what I ate this weekend. But yeah, so ingredients for my mac and cheese. So I am melting some butter. Then I'm gonna cook some onions just for flavor. I have cheese and I have soy milk. I am gonna put a little bit of cream in, but not that much cream because I do have a lot of cheese. But just to give it a texture, I'll probably use like a third of that, just to like like a few tablespoons. And then gluten-free flour to make the roux. So first I do the onions, and then you put the flour into the butter and the onions, and that makes like a chunky roux. But you put the a little bit of the cream and the soy milk in, and make a roux. I'm explaining this really badly, so you're gonna have to do a lot of editing. But yeah, those are my ingredients. And then I mix the pasta in. So I'll show you the next step. So unfortunately, I forgot to take step by step. But I put my onions in the pan, and then I sauteed them until they were fragrant and kind of golden. And then I put some gluten-free flour with a little bit of pasta water and some soy milk, and I put a teensy bit of cream because there's obviously a lot of cheese, so I don't want it to be too dairy rich. Teensy bit of cream just to add to the creaminess, like a couple tablespoons, and which will be spread out over multiple dishes, so it won't be that much cream. But yeah, so this is my sauce. Here, I'm just letting it all get together. I might put a little bit of pasta water in it to break it up a little bit, but yeah, that's my sauce. Nice texture. I know it looks a little chunky right now because the cheese is still melting, but yeah, that's my sauce. And this is what it looks like while I'm putting it in bowls. Probably have some for lunch right now because I made more than I actually need to. Got a little heavy on stuff, but yeah. So, review of The Shallows. It came out a while ago. It stars Blake Lively. It was okay. It's kind of like been there, done that. For like shark movies, it's not the best. It's not bad. It was cool. I don't regret watching it, and they didn't really show the shark that much. Like, even in the attack scene, it's like, I feel like they just didn't have a big budget or something, because they didn't, like, show, well, you would see the shark, like, fall off swimming, where, like, it would have been easy to just have, like, a diver wearing, like, a fin on the back of him. Like, you didn't really see the shark that much, which to me is the creepiest part, like, being underwater, and the shark, like, stalking you, like, that's always the creepiest part. So that was sort of, like, bleh. It got a little old quickly because it was just like, her on the reef the entire time. Because, for context, she's a surfer who goes to this beach that's, like, cut off from, like, the rest of society. You have to, like, go through a jungle to get to, type of thing. So she, like, hitches a ride with, like, a local farmer or something and goes there, and there's nobody else there except for 2 other surfers. And then there's shark attacks. And she gets stranded because she gets put onto this reef waiting for, and it's called the shallows because the reef is in shallow water when the water's at a certain level, and she has to try to get to shore before the water comes in and, like, drowns her off the island because then the sharks can get her, and so that's why it's called the shallows. And yeah, and it's just kind of her, like, waiting there, like, going, delirious and whatever, and there's a shark stalking around her, so kind of blah. But I'd say probably like 6 out of 10, so not like awful, but not my top shark movie. I would say a really good show that I'm binging this week. I watched Little House on the Prairie, not the old one. There's a reboot on Netflix. And it's season 1 is 8 episodes, and it's hopefully gonna have season 2 because I really liked it. And this family moved to Kansas, to a city called town. I guess it's not a city, it's not big enough to be a city, called Independence, Kansas. And it's just about the trials and tribulations, and it's a little goody two shoes kind of Hallmark movie-esque, where it's like everything is in wrapped up nice and neat by the end of each episode kind of thing. So it's a little like sappy and campy, but I mean, then again, I guess the original show was too, and it rings like Hallmark show, like the tone. So I mean, you have to want to watch like a sappy Hallmark movie style, everything ends up being perfect kind of thing. But it is good acting. They do show the Native American stuff a little more accurately than they probably did when the show originally aired. So I appreciated that it was a little more culturally sensitive. Now, obviously, as a white woman, I don't know how completely culturally sensitive it was. I'm sure it probably wasn't perfect, but it was at least better than those kind of shows have been in the past. So I really liked it. I thought it was really well acted. Good character choices. The 2 young daughters played the roles really well. And good setting, and I guess it wasn't really special effects in this show, but the setting was really well done. So, and it kind of ended on a cliffhanger. So I'm assuming, hopefully, that means there'll be a season 2. So I would say for the season as a whole, I would say 9 out of 10 because I really liked it. If it's very sort of subject specific. So 9 out of 10 if you like Hallmark movie-esque things. So for me personally, because I do like those movies, I would say 9 out of 10. Movie review. I saw the new Insidious movie. I believe this is the 6th one. Because the first 2 were the Lambert family. The second 2 were kind of like the prequels to that. And then the 5th one was the reboot of the Lambert family. And then this was immediately after that movie, but like a new family. Insidious is one of my favorite franchises. It is shot very similarly to Michael Flanagan's autistic style, where they shoot everything in camera and make the ghosts super realistic as opposed to CGIing everything. So it makes it super creepy because everything has a very 3D nature to it, and I really like that autistic style. So I love Insidious franchise. And I don't know why they never got in touch with Michael Flanagan and tried to get him to do some of them. I should research that. Maybe he did, but he has a very similar autistic style to them. So I love this movie. It is taking the mythology of the further, which is, like I said, the limbo, to the next level. And instead of just having people that can go in and out of the further, you get introduced to someone that can transport things in and out of the further. Like if she finds something in the photo, she can bring it into the real world, and vice versa. She can bring people in the real world with her and objects with her into the photo. So of course, demons are like, hey, if we touch her and then force her back into the real world, we can piggyback her, into the real world. I'm not giving anything away. This is in the trailer. And so obviously that has ramifications. She's manipulated and used and possessed. And so it's just trying to sort of figure out, you know, how to stop a demon apocalypse. And like I said, awesome. The way that they do the special effects, they do sort of in camera special effects. So amazing, artistically. And so I would definitely say like 9 out of 10. Because like I said, it's like my favorite franchise. So very, very, and of course Elise is there as well. So for people who like, a fan of her in the series, they had to bring the dead Elise back because she's a ghost in the photos. But yeah, so 9 out of 10. So final thought. I don't really have a quote. It's more of just a story. It's a story that my mom used to tell me when I was a kid. And I don't think honestly, it's funny. I don't think she ever told it as like a metaphor for life. Like I think it was like a funny story she told me once. And it came up a couple times. But it's really kind of been like a motto for my life, especially recently. I've had a lot of things go wrong, and I'm looking for a good job, looking for a relationship, and I feel like they're both just eluding me, and I'm like, what's wrong with me? Why isn't anything working out for me? And so there's a story that I always go back to. My mom told me that when she was a kid, she would go out to Oma, that's my grandmother, Oma's backyard, and she would sit and she loved to look for ladybugs. And so she would look and look and look and wouldn't find any. And then she'd just get upset and be like, oh, well, whatever, and kind of like collapse in the yard. And, and just sometimes fall asleep or sometimes just kind of stare up at the sky, being mad that she wasn't finding ladybugs. But after lying down for a while, suddenly she'd look and she'd be like covered in ladybugs. And, I think for me, the motto or the lesson to that story is that sometimes if you are looking and spending all of your time looking for one specific thing, you're not going to find it. And you're putting all of this energy into it, and the only thing that you're doing is exhausting yourself. And then if you just relax and, take in the rest of life, it will just come to you, right? I mean, the thing, if you try to control life, it's going to do its own thing and wiggle out of your grasp. Whereas if you just wait for life to happen, life just happens to you, and what's meant to happen will happen. So I think for me, especially waiting for, like if I get the completely remote job, that would be perfect for my core situation. And I never would have thought to apply to that. I just applied to it randomly because I saw it on a website. So, or the literacy specialist job is literally what I used to do. So not to put all my eggs in either of those baskets, but they kind of, both of those jobs kind of just fell into my lap. Literally just kind of fell into my lap. They were like ads on like other websites I was looking for. So I suddenly have a whole bunch of interviews all at once. And not that I wasn't trying, I was trying to get interviews, but I was like, oh man, it's the school year started, I'm just not going to have a job. And I had kind of gotten to the point where I was like, you know what, I have to just accept it. I'm not going to have a job this year. I'm going to have to find some kind of part-time job somewhere and figure something out. And then I suddenly had a bunch of interviews this week. So, and the same thing, I'm trying to make myself see that with this whole Christian thing that, I have for a while now, I've been kind of berating myself for not having a relationship and, being like, well, what's wrong with me? Like most people your age are married with kids. My mom also pointed out, like, a lot of the people that got married, a lot of the people you went to high school with that got married and have kids are also divorced now. So she's like, there's a lesson there. Like, just like with the ladybugs, she tried to rush into it and it didn't work out for her. As soon as she calmed down and let life happen the way it was supposed to, they swarmed her. So I think there's a life lesson there too. A lot of the people that rushed into getting married are divorced now. So I wonder if there's a connection. My mom has a lot of insight, doesn't she? But anyways, that's just thoughts I've had, trying to remind myself of that, to not get too depressed about it. It still was depressing, but it was the first time I reached out and kind of showed interest to someone on Instagram, and which I would never normally do. And I was like, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to be bold and do it. And then he turns out to be a scam. So it was a bit of a ego, bust, but trying to learn a lesson from it. So I don't know if that's a good or bad motto, but reflections for the week. So thank you for watching Bumbling Butterfly.